Okay, lesson 12 is basically attacking the closed Taorluaths, which again you will probably find these in more intermediate pibrochs and more advanced pibrochs, more complex pibrochs, I should say. And it's a movement that's used quite a bit in those particular pibrochs. But in the basic pibrochs, the beauty of that is that the movements I've given you before, say in particular lessons 6 and 7, 5, 6, and 7, and even 1, 2, and 3, which are common in all pibrochs, but you'll find that in basic pibrochs, simple pibrochs that you start out with to understand and progress on the movements. So this particular one is called the closed Taorluath. Again, part of the Taorluath family. It's quite unique because a lot of the movement is performed on low G. You're not coming up to A by any stretch of the imagination. So it's all on low G, coming off the theme notes, whether it be A, B, or D, are primarily the movements that it's utilized on the most. Yeah, I'm sure you could do it on a C, I guess creativity, if so choose, but it's commonly used in the platform of low A, D, B, and D. And then right next door to that is basically the Taorluath Mach. It's basically the movement itself, but it's the structure and temperament. So the intervals are quite different than the way you would play a Taorluath itself. So we'll get you through that. So the closed Taorluaths from low A would be hen daram, hem daram, hem daram. So on low A. The next one would be hyo darem, hyo darem, hyo darem. So it's basically the B down to the low G with the same grace notes, and it goes like this. And the one on D would be he darem, he darem, he darem on D. And remember again the exception that the B grace note replaces the D grace note, so don't get caught into that fix. Okay, so again it's the B grace note replacing the D grace note on the G, B, E grace notes on low G. And then what we have next would be the Taorluath Mach. Now this one is quite unique in itself. So what you're doing is you're playing a quick, so the movement and value of it would be really a 16th note, played or rolled down to the low G with the movement, the grace notes itself on the movement, the D and the E coming back up to B in this particular case, and then the same on C, and it's slightly different on D. But the B and the C is that you're rolling the B and rolling the C. You're not holding on to it like you would in 2/4 marches or 6/8 or even start space. So the way you would perform this is now again it would be the ho da, and then like you got the ho tro, ho tro, ho tro, ho tro. It's how you pronounce it, but it's close to how you would basically hear it. But on the C now, it's So basically, you're not holding on to the B or the C. You're not doing this. Here's the don'ts. And the don'ts on C. So that would be incorrect. So back to the correct way of doing this. And then the D itself would be ho ereye, ho ereye, ho ereye, yo ereye, or do brede, yo herere, ho herere, ho herere. And again, you don't want to hold on to the B going to the D throw. So you want to roll it nicely to the D throw, as that's the crux of the movement itself. And then the E grace note on the D finishes it off. So the don't. So you don't want to do that. So you want to stay away from that feel of wanting to play it. So again, the correct way of playing the D Taorluath Mach would be. Now, playing the B, C, and D. To recap the moment. So that would give you an idea of the Taorluath Mach. Quite unique movement, but take it slow to understand it. But try not to get your fingers to do the opposite of what you think that they're probably going to do, is hold the B, hold the C, and hold the B going to the D throw, to the E grace on D. On the D Taorluath Mach, you don't want that. You want to roll it. It's probably the best way to explain it is to roll it gently to the next, to the next, to the next, and then finish off holding the last portion of that note, which in this case would be on, say, B Taorluath Mach would be on the B. The last B would be held. The last C would be held. And the E grace on the D, you give a little flavor to finish off the D Taorluath Mach. So there you have it. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. See you on the next one.